It is May 25th, and this is, of course, the video log. It takes 30,000 to a million. I've been on a value growth stock binge lately, and I'll explain what that is in a minute. But first, you'll notice that I don't have my webcam on, so that might change in the future. But I got a new computer that I'm recording this stuff on, so things are changing. But first, before we go on, let's go through the account. I'm sitting at 149,000, which is a lot less than my all-time highs of about 167 maybe thousand. I'm gonna run through all of the options first, and then I'll show you my equity positions. You'll see that there are many changes in the account since I last posted anything, except perhaps the EBIX trade, which did not work out and ended up losing a lot of money on. But I have some Baidu calls which are going to expire worthless. I have some a lot of JD you're going to see pretty soon. Oh, by the way, when you're reading the options, this is the ticker here. You have the ticker, the strike price, the expiration date, the number of contracts, and whether it's a sell or buy. The number on the right represents the daily change in value for that particular option. My Apple call is actually close to expiry finally. The two that I have left, they did okay today. So you'll notice, of course, that I still have lots of EBIX calls. I have sold many puts and calls against EBIX. I'm kind of getting religion because I thought that I could make some quick bucks by buying some call options and trying to fish for the bottom in some of these stocks, but it's not working out, and I'm going back to my drawing board, and I'm trying to stick to my plans here by selling and trying to build up positions. But I've gotten myself into a little bit of a twist. Gonna keep going here with the options. You can pause the video player at any moment to try to figure out the exact positions. Lots of losses here. I've loaded up on JD $75 strike point calls for the year 2023. So these are the leaps that are very far off. I mean, one Viacom one is very far off as well. And I'm hoping that the market gets religion and reflects the apparent fundamentals for some of these stocks. Let's go into the rest of the account. This is my Apple position now. I have 504 shares. I've built out 1,605 EBIX shares. I've sold 2 calls against them, so you can think of it as like 1,500-ish. I've loaded up on Alibaba. Perhaps this will help. Let me see. No. Yeah, equity. Yeah. So I have $64,000, and this will help kind of review what the account looks like. I have 64,000 in Apple, 44 in EBIX, 15 in Baba, 14 in JD, Realty Income 15, emerging market bonds 15. So those are my main positions really. These positions down here, not that big. Combined, they equal to like 20K, so they're not that meaningful. But I guess Verizon, Visa, and dividend emerging market ETF are the 3 big ones down here. So this is what the account looks like. I'm trying to do some spring cleaning and really get rid of some of the stuff that I don't have a strong conviction bet on. And so this is what I've ended up with. Watch list down here. So let me go to total return so you can see Apple so far I've gained the most on. EBIX down 6,000. Alibaba down over 1,000. JD down 300. Realty Income up 2,000, etc. You can see the rest of the positions down here. Some of them are really old, like wheat and precious metals. I haven't touched for a while, so it's just been appreciating over a very long period of time. I'm going to go to the account tab, and I don't want to scare you here, but I have a ton of stock bought on margin. So virtually all the Alibaba, all the JD stuff, and some of the EBIX stuff is just basically bought on margin. So if it doesn't work out, it's gonna kind of bite me in the ass a little bit. I already have to pay $81 of interest so far this month. So let me see if I can go down here and show you. Well, you can't see it; it's off the screen a little bit, but down on the bottom right. These are the positions, I guess, based on total return, and this is based on equity. This is by size. So you can take a look at that. The performance, this is the 1 week, this is the 1 month, 3 month is actually positive, amazingly. And 1 year chart, of course, is positive. But this is where I started really accumulating some of the JD and Bubble stuff up here near the top in EBIX, and it's just been not working very well. However, I do think that I'd given enough time. I've gotten onto this trend of trying to get some growthy kind of value stocks, and I've just really been obsessed with revenue and earnings and growth rates and things like that. So like normally I'm not very good investor, right? I just mainly just sell, try to accumulate positions, and I'm not very good at market timing either. So really my edge is kind of not trying to predict too much what the market's going to do. And it's a testament. My recent activity with some of this call buying is a testament to how I should not be doing that at any point. Trying to market time. Every time I do, more or less, I get a little bit burned. However, it has a little bit to do with one of my strengths, which is, or perceived strengths, which is trying to catch falling knives. See if I can bottom pick, but it's definitely dangerous. I get cut a lot, but in my opinion, this is the only way that I can make significant improvements to my account value. So what am I talking about catching falling knives? Well, let's go to Alibaba, for example. This is the 1 year chart of Alibaba. Let's go to 5 years. And you can see it's zoomed out. It's a slow grind higher. But right here, since October 23rd, 2020, it's been getting pummeled. It's been getting pummeled, and now it's sitting all the way at like 210 or something like that. Yeah, 210.69. My average entry cost is $227. So I've been accumulating on the way down, and I'm just trying to catch that knife, right? On Alibaba, see how low it can go. Another stock like Alibaba that I've been trying to knife catch on is JD. And I've really loaded up on JD over the last month. So this is the 5 year chart. Now, arguably JD has more downside from a chart perspective than Alibaba, right? It doesn't have a strong support here. It might catch some support somewhere around the $60 level or $50 level, but who knows? I mean, but they're really doing really good as a company. From a technical perspective, there's just so much market mechanics going on in the background that it's hard to figure out when I should be buying. But I definitely don't want to miss the chance to own this company. I owned it way back in the day, and I profited a little bit off of it in a different account. But I just didn't have the conviction to stay with it because I just didn't understand it that well. And now I feel like I understand the company a bit better. And at this point, I can make at least some kind of a judgment that 68 is a bit low for what the company has to offer. So I've actually gone very aggressive here. So I'm losing lots on options, already down $2,300 on options, 18%. I've bought tons of leaps for my account anyways. That's tons. That's 9 leaps. 7 of them expiring on 2023. And here's a quick overview. Whoa. Let me see if you can see that. You can kind of see it. So the number on the top left is the market cap. Underneath it, the $8 billion number, that's the income. And then underneath is sales, the revenue. So the revenue of JD is what we're looking at the moment. JD 1-year chart. This is the a really big zoom out. So some of the figures are just very appealing to me. So we got, a revenue highlighted here. I'm sorry, that's the market cap. The revenue of 124. These numbers are not super accurate, I don't think, but they're very close to the truth. Market cap of 111, revenue of 124 billion, and an income of 8 billion here. Now, other numbers that I like to look at, of course, is the price to earnings ratio, the forward price to earnings ratio, but that's questionable, right? Also, I like to make sure that they don't have any debt. So this company has no debt. It's very attractive to me. And also, it has 13.47 cash per share. So what that means is that for every share, which is $70, let's say right now, 13 of that is equivalent in cash, and they have no debt. So they're very cashed up. I mean, these guys are ready to invest, right? One thing you can be sure of is that JD isn't going to go bankrupt anytime soon unless there's some kind of external event caused by, market turmoil or some extraordinary event or perhaps some political regime change of some sort. But bar an extreme unforeseen event, there's no chance that JD is gonna bankrupt anytime soon. Other things that I like to look at for companies, especially these types, return on asset here, return on equity probably, very important, return on investment, gross margin 14, operating margin 1.5, not that important to me, and then profit margin 6.5, which is, this can change depending on how they operate their company, right? So you can, depends on how much money you're spending, you can tweak these numbers around, but I like when companies keep these numbers positive. I don't want them to go negative even from the short term just because they're making some kind of expansionary investment. I know it's good to do that if in order to get ahead of the competition and whatnot, but if the expansion is not sustainable or there's too much risk, I really don't want to be in the company at all. I don't want to accumulate shares or do anything with it. I don't want to sell options against them either. So one other thing is that analysts think that the target price of this company is $107.21. It's the average target price from analysts. It's got a very, very favorable analyst rating. I mean, if the numbers and calculations in the accounting is correct, this is a very, very attractive opportunity from my standpoint. Now, I don't know how all these analysts come to these conclusions, but all of them, I'm sure, are better analysts than I am. So I would trust that this is a possibility here. One thing that is annoying, though, if you've noticed on some of these rating changes, is that a lot of time these companies will, or individuals will, reiterate their price targets after the fact, right? So let's say a stock drops from 100 to 50, and then their target price, instead of being 110, will now all of a sudden somehow magically be 60. And all these, price targets kind of follow the action rather than front run it. So, but anyway, it just gives you a guide point as to what the company might be valued based on people looking at it. So I guess it's pretty useful. Now, it's not a very shorted stock, so that's not really a factor there. Um, and one thing I'll notice here is that it has a lot of employees. Now I look at that as 314,906 liabilities. So ideally, the company would be worth 100 billion and have like 3 employees, right? But that's not how it works. Fortunately, these employees are in China, where currently the salaries are a little bit less than, let's say, the United States. That might not be the same case in the future, but for now, all these employees are not that highly paid, which gives me a little bit of reprieve, because otherwise, I think it would weigh very much on a company of this size to have that many employees. It's a lot, but obviously, it's not showing up in the numbers. It doesn't seem like they're getting paid that much. Um, so hopefully that's a well-oiled machine there. Now, I'm sure that their pay will rise with time, but hopefully the company's growth and success rises faster. Those are my thoughts. All right, so that's JD. That was my big, 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 big play where I have invested, like 20,000. Look, I have 10,500 left in options. So 25, that's 13,000 plus the other 15. Basically $30,000 I put into JD alone worth of options and stock. Okay, here's my JD position. Today, obviously, down for 1.5 cents. This is the week chart. It's the month chart. I've been investing over the last month, so probably started here around 77 and 78, and just been trying to catch this falling knife, but it's very difficult to do so, obviously. So we'll see how much I'll be bleeding before there's any turnaround in these Chinese names. Okay, I've done a pretty big update here on the account. No webcam today, sorry about that. Perhaps I'll get one for next time. But for now, I'm going to leave you with that. And let me know if you have any Chinese stocks, or at least what do you think about these retailers, JD and Alibaba. And let me know if you think they're attractive or not. You own them, you don't. You think they're garbage, think they're going to get delisted and we're never going to see them again. Or what are your thoughts? Let me know. All right. Peace out.